The live stream will be starting soon. The live stream will be starting soon. The live stream will be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Sam and Rachel here with The Blind Life.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So welcome back. This is another episode of Talk Back with The Blind Life, where we answer previous month's questions, most commonly asked questions on the previous month's videos. That's what I was trying to say. And we got a lot. We actually skipped the previous month because of some more traveling and such. And so we got a lot of things to cover. But first, Rachel, how you doing? Let's we'll kill some time while people get in here.
I'm doing good.
Good. So we
that was really helpful with killing time, wasn't it?
That was good. I thought you'd have more than that. So
sorry.
That's okay. I need to turn my volume up. So let's talk a little bit about, do you want to talk about our recent trip? We went to the Foundation Fighting Blindness conference.
Yeah, it wasn't that recent now. I guess it's been over a month ago, but it was a great trip.
Yeah.
I would say that what I take away from that is, if anytime you have the opportunity to attend a conference, especially a large conference, I feel like you totally should, a conference for visually impaired, because I think it's so helpful to be able to, talk with people that you can relate with. And that goes for both the person that's visually impaired, but also, a spouse or whatever. I talked to several husbands and wives while I was there and, shared some laughs over some common themes that we have and stuff like that. It was just really good. I mean, don't get me wrong, the actual sessions were really great too, but I think the community there is just really cool.
Yes. Yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit about it because that was part of the videos that I put out, was highlights from Visions. But if you're unfamiliar, Visions is the Foundation Fighting Blindness. It's their conference they put on every 2 years. And Foundation mainly focuses on inherited retinal diseases. So Stargardt's disease, retinitis pigmentosa, Usher's. They've expanded to age-related macular degeneration to kind of incorporate that as well. So that's one of the benefits of that, is if you have one of those conditions, it's going and learning all about what's currently going on with that condition, which is really super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the session they did for Stargardt's with, recent research and clinical trials and whatnot, there were 3 presenters in there, and they were all great. Like, they were good presenters, because not always are people that are fantastic researchers also great presenters, but they were. And I just felt like it was a really good presentation. I learned a lot, not only about like what's going on right now with research, but also just some things about the condition and the actual, like, the anatomy of the eye and how it's affected by some of those conditions. I didn't know, and I found it really interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I did too. Because that's not, here on my channel, I focus on living with vision loss and thriving and, and adapting and all of that. I don't really talk much about the clinical side and research and treatment and all that. So it was interesting to learn all that. So if you're interested, they put it on every 2 years, and it floats. The location 2 years ago, it was in Orlando. This year it was in Chicago. Someone said that they kind of go East Coast, middle, West Coast. So it might be California area next in 2 years from now. I'm not sure. I don't know if they've announced it yet. So you can check out the Foundation Fighting Blindness website to learn more about that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, we've got about 30 people in here now.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. That sounded very country. Sorry.
I did. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. That's very kind of you. Um, we do live in Kentucky, don't we? So let's go ahead and get started. We will be
Yeah,
doing. We got a lot to cover.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. We got a lot of videos to check
Yeah.
out. Okay, so the first video that we're going to take comments from was Mac accessibility, boost your Mac accessibility, top tips, and how to set up a Mac for low vision. This was from a while ago. We're a little behind.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first comment said, Sam, great video. This will be helpful for low vision users new to the Mac. I do have one word of caution regarding changing the screen resolution. Many modern web applications may break at lower resolutions. Content will be lost or cut off or unavailable. Working with a number of complex web applications over the years, I've personally experienced this. I would honestly recommend leaving the display at its default resolution and rely on Zoom for enlarging screen content. This way, you'll be able to read the content without potential loss of content or functionality. Working in software development, doing accessibility testing, I can attest the fact that 9 out of 10 websites are not developed to be accessible. Sorry, just a second. Many of them even include menus, which are extremely frustrating for magnification users. And that was from Jeffrey Ritz 2740.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know I got you. The first one was going to be a long one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you also run into that very often if you try to enlarge elements on the screen by using. Some people will do they'll hold down Control or Command, and then they'll use the scroll wheel to zoom in. And we refer to that as a local adjustment because it only affects certain areas of the screen. Like a website, it'll only enlarge the website. It doesn't do anything to enlarge the taskbar or the header or anything like that. So, and when you do that, it breaks a lot of things. Like like you said, a lot of things don't render properly, and that can happen if you go messing around with the resolution. So I always tell people, obviously play around with it, see what happens. Don't be afraid to kind of push buttons and change things. You're not going to break anything. You can always go back. Especially on PCs, it has a little in the list of resolutions. It has one that's marked recommended. So if something goes wrong, you can always go back and that's the one I need to be on. But it may help. It may do more good than potential bad. So play around with it.
Okay. Next one was from Kenneth B. Smith. It says, excellent tutorial, Sam. I've been on Mac since last century and using accessibility since becoming low vision 6 years ago. It looks like you are on Sonoma. Can you check something for me? In the Apple applications, notes and text edit, does speak item under the pointer perform properly? That is, it should read paragraph by paragraph as it does in Mail or Safari. It stopped doing this for me when I upgraded from Ventura to Sonoma. Don W says it doesn't work for him either. This is important to me, especially in notes. Thanks.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of highlight that. So if anybody else can kind of check this out, it seems to work fine for me. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would be causing that. I'm not nearly as expert at Mac still as I am at like PC. So I wanted to kind of put this out there to the ether. If anybody is experiencing that or knows any information about it, leave a comment on the video so we can help Ken out.
All right. That was it for that video. We can move on to the next one, which kind of is along the same lines. Best operating systems for blind accessibility. Find
Yeah.
out the truth.
Thanks, ChatGPT. I got a lot of comments on this, like over 100 comments on this video, which is a lot for me. A lot of positive comments. I think the vast majority of them were positive. I don't think there were anything too super negative, but yeah, it was good.
Okay, so the first comment we have is from John Dyer. It said, thanks, Sam, for helping to bust this myth. I co-host Blind Android Users podcast, and dispelling this is one of our main goals. It's great that all major operating systems are accessible enough for us to make the choice for ourselves the way that everyone else can.
Yeah. And so shout out to Blind Android Users podcast. If anybody's an Android user, you want to check that out. That's the name of it, Blind Android Users podcast. So yeah, it's just, it kind of goes back to it's all about having options, and whatever you choose is going to be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Technically, Leonard said, "Thank you, Sam, for being honest here. There's no real platform that rises above any other these days. Sure, you may be more or less familiar or fond with one over another, but that doesn't mean the platform itself is actually better or worse than any of the others. And furthermore, I think it's best to remain flexible when it comes to computing platforms."
Yeah, and this it was a reoccurring theme throughout the comments. It kept coming up. Some people would say, "Oh, Mac is better. Oh no, Linux is better." Blah, blah. And it's just not. It's whatever you're used to, you're gonna think is better. I personally like Windows better, but that's mainly because I've always used Windows and I'm just not as comfortable on Mac. Um, that was kind of the theme. Was people were like, I've been a Mac user forever, I use a Windows at work, and I prefer, I think Mac is better. Well, that's because you're used to it. You've figured it all out. And Windows, even though they're very, the systems are very similar, it's different. And so for me, it's the same thing but opposite. So that's why I tell people, I was like, just whatever you choose, you're gonna be successful, but it's gonna take some getting used to.
Okay, the next one is from Richard Reeves 5684. He says, "I have an idea for a video series for you. How about an NVDA tutorial series mainly going over the keyboard commands in Windows, Office Suite, and a browser for those of us who are trying to learn it but do it better through videos?"
Yes. So this is a comment I get a lot, and a request I get a lot for a tutorial on NVDA, a tutorial on JAWS, a tutorial on VoiceOver on the Mac, or narrator on a PC. And the main reason I haven't done a lot of these is because they are so in depth. I mean, even the basics, it's just that would be a huge video. It would be a big video. We do training where I work. We do JAWS training. We do, NVDA, voiceover, all this training. And for someone to be proficient, we recommend 30 hours of training at a minimum. So even I know they're not looking for proficiency, they're looking for the basics, but even that would be, it's just a really big video. And that's the reason why I haven't really done one yet.
Yeah, it's
So
a really big video that might have to be redone whenever there's an upgrade as well, because it can
yeah,
become, some of the information can become outdated.
yeah, well, especially the mobile ones like TalkBack. The TalkBack, I did a video, TalkBack 101, and TalkBack is completely different, not completely different, but it's very different now versus when I made that video. So I need to make an updated TalkBack video. The mobile screen readers are easier to do in a video format because they're not nearly as complicated as the computer screen readers. So I'm not saying it'll never happen, but man, don't hold your breath.
Okay. Um, Kids Sonic Official said, "I will say this, I have both operating systems. My laptop was to replace an old Windows laptop I had, which died halfway through my master's course a couple of years ago, and I got a desktop PC for Christmas last year. Yes, Windows has these features too, but Apple does do it way better. I make music production content from time to time. This will become more frequent soon, and I noticed that there could be space for in-person workshops in the future. However, Windows doesn't allow you to have mirrored screens that can be zoomed in separately so that everyone looking at the main screens can see as if they were using the computer while still allowing me to do what I need to do zoomed in. This also allowed me to record my screen without the magnifier being recorded. I then found that you can record your screen on Windows in a similar way, but only on desktops as far as I know. So in a nutshell, Windows is a bit more clunky in design, while on Mac it just works seamlessly."
See, yeah, it just I once again, you could have the same argument the other way around. No, Windows, you cannot zoom independently, natively, but you can through like Zoom Text can. So there are ways to do it, and I know that that's one of those features that they're looking at improving in the future, and adding in the future as part of the advisory committee for Windows accessibility. That's one of the things we've talked about. But I don't know. It's once again, it's like I know plenty of people that say if you want to create anything, video editing, any of that kind of stuff, you got to use a Windows computer because they just work better. So I think it's just personal preference.
Okay, and I believe this is the last one. Sorry, I'm not sure what the username, how to say it, but they said, I agree with most of what you said, but I think Microsoft did a big mistake by not making narrator as robust as Apple VoiceOver. I come from India and most of the users are Windows users. Having a good default screen reader would have made Windows accessible on the go without installing anything. They should have done what Google did with TalkBack. You could also touch on Samsung's interference in TalkBack, which hasn't been beneficial for Samsung users.
Yeah, yeah, but I could have talked about that, but wasn't really what the the thing was about. The fine minutia of screen readers and all of that. But no, I mean, yeah, narrator used to be the joke of the screen reader world. Like everybody hated it, but now, and just like Rachel said, it's been updated tremendously, and now it's a pretty viable screen reader. It's not to the level of Jaws, no, and that was some comments people gave, but you got to also remember that Jaws is a paid program, so there's a lot of money going into developing Jaws, so they're incentivized to make it as awesome as it can be. But then the other thing about voiceover is if you ask trainers hate working with voiceover on a Mac because it's just not intuitive. So but people love it. Some people love it. Like I said, it just kind of goes back to people have their own preferences, and if whatever you choose, give it a good shot, and you'll be fine.
Okay, let's hop over to the chat and the live stream here for a minute and see what we've got going on over here. Give me just a moment to
All right.
see if there's any questions in here that I need to address. Kenneth Thornton asked if you have any plans to review the new Clover 3.
Clover 3. I don't have any plans yet. No. I will definitely talk to Irie AT. They are the Clover guys, and see if that's something that they want to do.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Eric Hartman said that the FFB conference will be on the East Coast in 2 years, and they're also going to be hosting the International Congress of Retina International.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
East Coast would be a little bit easier for us to get to.
Yeah. And we met Eric at FFB. Eric Hartman,
did.
remember that?
Yeah, we did a little
Love him.
podcasty thing with them.
Yeah. Sorry, still looking.
No worries. Eric was rocking the City Block backpack when we saw him.
Oh yeah, that's right. We saw a couple of those backpacks there.
We did, yeah.
Okay, Harpreet asked what your thoughts are on Apple Intelligence. Do you think it's worth upgrading to iPhone 15 Pro Max just for that reason, or would you recommend sticking with iPhone 13?
Oh, that's a tough one. Just for that reason, I would say probably no. Yeah, no, I mean, no, I would say probably no. I would say wait another year or two until the 15s are a little bit cheaper, and then you could get it. I think it's going to be awesome. I saw a video earlier. It's going to be interesting to see how well it works with accessibility, because they were doing the AI in the text messaging and demonstrating that, and it's a lot of small bubbles and suggestions you got to click on and stuff, and so it'll be interesting to see how that all works with like voiceover and stuff. But now, if that's the only reason to upgrade, I would say no. I would wait. But if you wanted just the cool 15, then yeah, sure.
Okay. Adventures in Blind Videography gave you a what's it called? Super chat.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah.
I do Adventures in Blind Videography.
We met him at FFB, right?
I don't
also
recall.
with the backpack?
That I don't recall.
Okay. I might
Let
be
us know.
wrong. I'm horrible with names. Okay.
I know, me too.
Let's hop back and go to the next video. If anyone else has questions, pop them in the chat and we'll catch them here after we answer some more of the comments in the videos. So the next one was Stream Your World, the Patriot Viewpoint's new multimedia features,
Yes,
which
which was
you're a fan
also
of
a
this, aren't you?
yeah. It's probably my favorite wearable now that Iris Vision has they're not doing their version 1 anymore. Patriot has taken the top, and then with the streaming, definitely with the streaming, it's my favorite streaming device.
Yeah. Okay. So Scott Joffre said, "This is so cool. I like all the different accessibility features that are in this device, especially the magnification. Since you're saying there's no lag while using the device, does that mean it would be great for gaming?"
Potentially. Now, I have to preface, I kind of screwed up and I did not test it with a gaming system, and I still haven't. But from what I saw, and I have tested gaming systems with other devices that do essentially the same kind of streaming. And from what I saw, just connecting it to a Fire Stick and watching movies and stuff like that, I didn't notice any lag. Like, and you can see in my video that as the TV changes in the shot, you also see what I'm seeing on the headset changing. They almost like imperceptibly the same time. So it leads me to believe that yeah, it would be great for gaming. Whether you'd be able to do like super high competitive
Call of
racing,
Duty
first
or
person,
whatever.
yeah, I don't know. But definitely I would have to say you'd be able to do those kind of games just for fun. Absolutely.
um, do you still have one in here, or
I
did
do, yeah, I
you?
still have it. And then I also should mention that in the video I mentioned how I wish it would zoom in even more while you were streaming content. And I've spoken with Patriot and they said that's super easy. We can totally do that. It's literally like changing a line of code and it will zoom in even closer. So I recommended that to them and I think they're going to do that, which is great.
That's cool. Well, maybe between now and the next talk back, we can connect it to your, what do you have, an Xbox, the
Yeah.
Xbox, and see
Yeah.
if it how it works.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, Lance Farmer 8096 says, "Just got mine. What a life changer. I didn't know about the available new pad. It works just as you described. Enjoy all of your videos. They've taught me a lot in my new lifestyle. Keep them coming."
Oh, good. I think I must have hearted that comment, not for this video, but earlier. Sorry. But I
Okay,
still
the next,
thank you.
sorry. The next one is from Coley O'Meara 6918, and he has two questions. One, how is the blur and image stabilization when moving your head or in high zoom state? And two, does it work with any other Samsung Galaxy phones like the S21 Ultra, for example, which was my current phone and my primary visual assistive aid?
So the stabilization is fantastic. The blur, there really isn't any blur. I mean, it's pretty good at the high magnification, um, which I think I kind of demonstrate moving it around in the video to demonstrate the stabilization. It works really well. Um, the it's a standalone unit, so it comes with the phone. So you cannot use a different phone with this headset. It just won't work. I don't even think your S20 whatever 23 will fit into the headset physically. So this is a standalone unit. You don't use your own phone with it. You use the phone that comes with it, and you, just to reiterate, you cannot use it as a phone. It is just a visual aid assistive technology device.
Okay. Unique 5336 says, "Hello, Sam. This item sounds great for low vision. Is there another type of low vision tool similar to this item, a little less expensive?"
Um, no, unfortunately, pretty much no. So there are apps that will simulate it, and but you have to use like remotes with them. It's just no, unfortunately, no, it's just not going to work necessarily as well. There are other products out there. Like there was the Onyx, but I think that's been discontinued. I did a video about that, and it did something similar, but not as well. And it was cheaper. But yeah, unfortunately, no. As I tell people all the time, check the used market. So eBay. I was in a members only call yesterday with my channel members, which incidentally, information in the video description if you want to join some of our members only calls every month. And someone mentioned Goodwill Auctions has a lot of assistive technology. So goodwillauctions.com or .org, something like that, which I had never heard of that. So I was, interested to check that out. They said you can get video magnifiers and things like that. But sometimes you get lucky and you find a wearable like this on eBay for super cheap. So keep an eye out on those types of sites.
Okay, the next question, it says, Sam, aside from the streaming box, the wearable seems really similar to the Iris Vision. Is that the case?
Yeah. So like, as I was saying, the original Iris Vision used the same hardware, Samsung phone, Samsung Gear VR headset. And that's why I liked it so much, the original Iris Vision. And it was my top pick for wearables. But they have since stopped using that, and they're going to a different setup, which I recently did a whole video review of their Iris Vision Live 2.0. So check that out if you want to learn more about that. But I don't think it works as well as the Samsung setup does, which is what Patriot uses. So yes, it is similar to the original Iris Vision.
Okay. Vulcan on Wheels said, I noticed you changed Best Blind Life to Braille, but I couldn't read the last two characters. Would you mind translating them for us? And then it said that must have been by accident, though.
Now, so I had to give a shout out because no one else mentioned that I did the intro in Braille, and so they were the big winners. They noticed. The last two is just I made a smiley face because I usually do a smiley face or or my logo for the bell sound and in that little intro. And since I was doing Braille, I just did the ASCII smiley face, I think is what you would call it.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't actual Braille.
The colon and the parenthesis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Mike Ward 1701 said, does it allow you to record what it sees?
So yes. In fact, throughout the entire video, I was the shot I was showing of what I was seeing was done by recording what I saw. So yes, you can do that. It's not the easiest thing, and you kind of have to do a little bit of manipulating, but you can do it. There's actually videos. I think Patriot has videos on how to do it.
Okay. Ariel Malka says, can you wear regular glasses in it, or do you need to get custom lenses?
No, that's one of the benefits of the Samsung Gear VR and these devices that are using that is it has room in there for glasses. Depending on how big their glasses are, it might be a little snug, but you can wear glasses inside the headset, which is great.
Okay, we'll move on to the next video. And this is the standing desk review, the Flexi Spot E6, which I am using right now, I might say.
It's
and I love it so much. I mean, I don't have low vision, but I do love the desk. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a good desk.
Oh, your sister commented on this and said, yes, I love having a CCTV set up on a standing desk. It makes it easier to read things quickly.
Yeah, so I have one at work. I have these tall cabinets, and I have all my CCTVs on there for when I'm doing demonstrations. And I have a CCTV next to my desk, but I end up always walking over to those, and because I can just stand there, and it's about chest high, the base of the CCTV. So it's so convenient having one up high, and you don't have to bend over. And that's kind of the theme for this entire desk, is like just not having to bend over for stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That might have been it.
No, there's a little bit more. This one you didn't mark, but I think it's a good question. Said good timing on this video. I've been looking at getting a standing desk, but was hesitant to consider flexi spot because it looked like the control pad would be hard to use by feel.
Mm.
So the buttons are actual physical buttons, not capacitive touch buttons. And I can answer that because I'm here right now. Yeah, they're actual buttons. Now the markings on the buttons do not stick up. So that is not like the labels are not tactile, but you can easily feel the buttons and just count over, or there is enough room, you could put a bump
Bump.
dot.
Yeah.
Yeah, either probably on the button or just above or below the button. There's just enough room for that as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, like the standing on up for mine, I mean, there's an up and down arrow, which are the first two buttons, but then the third one is stand and the fourth one is sit. So once you program it, it'd be pretty easy to just feel the third button over and push that to stand and feel the fourth button over, push that to sit.
Yeah. Yeah. They're physical buttons, but it's kind of like, like a remote control where there's a bit of a membrane going over them, but they're still raised enough and tactile enough that you can easily feel them.
Yeah, there's actually not a membrane
Oh,
that
that's not
connects
like,
them. They are separate from the background. They don't stick up very far.
oh, okay. Okay.
But they're still very easy to feel.
How dare you correct me
Okay,
in front of the audience?
what was that?
I said, how dare you correct me in front of the audience?
I'm sorry.
I shall deal with you later.
Okay, someone else said, "How do you do power cable management with a table like this?" And I can answer that too if you want me to, since I'm sitting here.
We found a
We
way. It wasn't easy, but we found a way. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, now there is some built-in cable management,
Mhm.
um, on the bottom of the table, and it came with, like, some adhesive clips, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Um, but it wasn't enough for us. Like I have a lot of cables. I mean, I have dual monitors. I've got my laptop with power cord. There's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Charging cables. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like a phone cable, a phone charging cable and whatnot. What we ended up doing is we utilize the leg. Luckily, even though it telescopes, there's a wide part that doesn't that is solid. And so we utilize that quite a bit, the back side of it. So I feel like it looks pretty decent now.
Yeah. The cables are hidden relatively well. We have them like adhesive clipped to the bottom of the table, so they're up high. You're up under there. You can't really see them hanging down or anything, and it's doable. You just kind of have to be creative with your cable management and get some good adhesive clips. We got some on Amazon that were terrible apparently, and they popped off, so we had to
Yeah,
redo it.
every one of them I think popped off.
That's what you get
And
for
then the
that's
last
what I get for ordering the cheapest clips I could find.
Yeah. And then the last one said, "How high off the floor does the table go?"
So what do you think? I think it's about like if I standing, I'm 6 foot, and it was almost to my chin. I think. I mean, it was so. I think at least 5 feet, maybe
Can it
even
really?
higher.
I don't know. I guess I don't go that high up because that would be to my
Yeah,
nose, but it can go quite high. Like,
yeah,
I can't
yeah,
imagine wanting it to go higher than it does, unless you were like 7 foot plus tall.
yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, I can't imagine you wanting it to be able to go higher than it does. And I feel like the lowest height is a good height. I'm pretty short. I'm like 5'3", 5'4", and it's a great height for me. It goes down lower than the desk I had previously, and I am appreciating that because it's just a good height for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really stable too at its maximum height, by the way, because it has the dual motors and they're very solid. Those legs are solid. It's very stable. So it doesn't like wobble horribly or anything like that.
Yeah, I was worried that it would, especially when I saw how tall it was. Because it really is high. I thought it would be wobbly, but it's solid.
Yeah, it's a good desk.
Yep. Okay. We'll go back into the um, live stream chat and let me see what we've got here. Okay. So Adventures in Blind Videography was not who I was thinking it was. They've never met you before, but love the channel and what you do for the blind YouTube community, Sam.
Awesome. Thank you.
Harpreet was asking if you think we'll ever see Call of Duty put a full-fledged screen reader in their game, just like how college football did it in their game. I'm guessing no.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe in the menu system and stuff, but I don't see how you would use it in game. What they need to do is, which I saw at the Sony booth last year, not this year, but last year at CSUN, they were demoing some shooting game. I didn't get the chance to see what it was, but it was some shooting game where you could manipulate the colors to where the enemies stood out, higher contrast, like green against the red or something like that. But the problem you run into is, how do you have that in the game and not people don't take advantage of it in a competitive setting? Like people that don't necessarily need it for vision loss still use it so that they can spot their enemies faster and be more dominant. It's like, that's kind of the problem. How do you balance that?
Yeah. Okay. We've got a question here. It says, how do you see the Apple Vision Pro as an enhancement tool, as a work-life tool, more than entertainment? And he actually, you probably haven't seen it, but Sam did an entire, actually two videos.
Yeah, three videos
about the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah, full review video and then a couple extra things.
Spoiler alert, he returned his.
Yeah, I don't have mine. And Carrie also did videos and she returned hers as well. It's just not there yet. I don't see it. It's just not possible yet. I mean, eventually it will be. They've got to improve a lot of things on it for the visually impaired. But I mean, it's got the potential to be amazing. It's got especially productivity. That was the best thing that I liked about it, was mirroring my Mac screen into a giant floating widescreen display right in front of you that you could grab and pull close and everything, like a 70-something inch display. That worked really, really well. But that was literally the only thing that I saw on the headset that would be beneficial. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be improved. You can check out my full review to learn more.
Okay, I'm still looking. Okay, I think I caught all the questions in there. So if someone asked one and I missed it, please pop it in again. Okay, the next video after that is I don't even know how to say this, Sam. The yo-yo?
Oh, e-yo-yo. That's how I've been saying it. E-yo-yo.
E-yo-yo. 8-inch video magnifier unboxing and review. Is it worth the money?
That is the question.
What's that?
I said, that is the question.
What's the answer? You got to watch the video.
You watch the video, but no, it's not. I don't think it's worth the money. And that was kind of the that was what everybody agreed.
The theme of the video.
The theme of the comments was that, it's just not worth the high price tag.
Okay. Fim Balance said, seems like one could use the native magnifier on an iPad for the same functionality at significantly less price with significantly more features.
Yeah, and some of the replies other people were saying, and I totally agree. If you were to get so the problem you run into with these types of things is everybody always says that, well, I can use my phone. It's like, yes, but you got to remember that the phone isn't going to do it as well, generally do everything as well as a device that was built specifically for that, because it has things that the phone doesn't. This device has physical buttons. That's going to be much easier for certain users, your older population, to use. Physical buttons are always going to be better. It's got the stand that puts it at a nice reading angle. So it's got certain elements that the iPad will never have, and therefore won't make it as good of a product as the thing that was made just for that. But that doesn't mean they're not onto something. And I've made videos on DIY video magnifiers using phones, using iPads, using webcams. So if you were to get an iPad or even a phone, or and not just an iPad, but any kind of tablet, Android tablet would work fine too, and get some kind of cheap stand that would put it at a nice reading angle, get it up off the desk, and also let you be hands-free, because that's one of the other benefits of these devices. Yeah, it would work great, or, and I even replied to that comment and said, you could also just get an HDMI lightning to HDMI cable adapter, and then you'd be able to plug your iPad into a television and get it on a nice big screen, just like a CCTV. And then once again, get a stand, and you've got a great solution there. That's super cheap. So yes, there are alternatives.
Okay, that was all we really had on that video. All the comments kind of seem to be, like you said, similar
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
The next video was the video about the Stellar Trek from Humanware, the ultimate GPS aid for the blind.
Yes, this was another big video. A lot of people really like this video.
Okay. An Odyssey of Steven said, "Hey Sam, I was wondering, is this Stellar Track device only for walking, or can you use it for navigation if you were in a car or a bus and you wanted to know where the bus or the car is taking you and what street it's taking you?"
Yes, absolutely. In fact, if you watch Carrie on Accessibility, she did a video review of the Stellar Trek as well, and she actually showed that in her video, her sitting in a car and using it to kind of navigate and find out where she is. So yes, you could do that.
Okay. And then Blind Justice said, "This seems like 10 years of old technology rather than cutting edge. The iPhone, iOS, and some free apps will do all of this better and faster."
So once again, no. Yes, you can use your iPhone, and then once again, I always have to say, not just an iPhone. It's not just Apple people. Android can do this too. Any smartphone will be able to do most of this, but not all of it. And it will not be able to do it faster. It will not be able to do it better. Your smartphone and some apps will be able to do like 90% of what the Stellar Trek can do. Yes, but not faster. You're not going to be able to use the maps, Google Maps, Apple Maps, and then jump into another app like Oko to get the crosswalk identification. It's just, that's going to take time. It's cumbersome. You're going to have to switch apps. So not faster. And then it doesn't do everything. Like, I don't know of any app that will, and if anybody does know, let me know, but I don't know of any app that will guide me directly to the front door of the place that I'm trying to get to. Our maps apps, Google Maps, Apple Maps, they will get me to the place. They'll get me to the parking lot, but they won't get me into the door. They won't be able to find the door for me. And then, not to mention that those applications aren't fully accessible with screen readers either. I can't explore the actual map on Google Maps with a screen reader. It's just not compatible. So it's not fully accessible. So, and then it won't get me to the door. So whereas the Stellar Trek it'll guide me right to the door. It'll let me confirm that I am at the right location by reading the address and all of that. So yes, you can manage, but once again, it's not going to work as well as a device that was built specifically for this task, and not talking about price. We're not bringing price into it, because yes, this thing is crazy expensive, and obviously that is a different argument.
Okay. Jason Barber 5643 said, "Pretty cool device. I'm just curious, how does it receive information? Cell service, Wi-Fi, or is everything onboard information?"
So when you set it up, you have to download the apps for your location. So all of that is done over Wi-Fi, and you download the maps for your country and for your state, and then it's all on board after that. You don't need to be connected to anything. No Wi-Fi, no hotspots or anything like that. does just like a cell phone where it will automatically connect when you get back home or something like that, in case there's an update. But using it out in the wilds, you don't need to be connected to anything.
Okay. What about crosswalks that are not marked?
So it does not see that. So the way it recognizes the crosswalks is it sees the lines on the pavement that are painted at pedestrian crosswalks. So if it doesn't have lines, unfortunately, it's not gonna be able to do anything for you there.
Okay, that is all of the comments on that video.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one, which is just from this morning, unboxing and reviewing the ultimate Mandalorian themed lightsaber.
That was from yesterday.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yesterday morning.
Yeah. Which once again, the audience continues to surprise me based on the comments. Everybody loved it. I keep thinking nobody's going to care about a lightsaber video, but you guys do.
Okay, Scott Joffrey again said, "Hey Sam, loving this new lightsaber video. If you had to choose between this lightsaber that you just reviewed and the one that you did a couple weeks ago, which one do you think is better?"
So, better for your money, I would say this one, the Mandalorian. It's much cheaper. It has just about the same functionality, like the same sound effects, the same lighting effects, all of that. It's not quite as good, not quite as high quality, the effects and everything, as the Luke Skywalker one I did before, but that Luke Skywalker one is much more expensive. I prefer the Mandalorian. I think the look, the shape, the feel in the hand and everything, I think it's much better in my opinion. And it's, before taxes, it's less than $100, so it's much cheaper.
Okay. Someone asked, "What are the white gloves for?"
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think it's either, I think they want you to wear the gloves when you're putting the blade on, so that you don't get fingerprints and oil and stuff on the blade. I've seen tons of videos. Nobody ever wears the gloves.
Is it similar, like, how you're not supposed to touch light bulbs before you put them on?
Maybe. It's either that or it's just kind of cheeky, hey, these are really super fancy devices, and you gotta be careful and treat it with kit gloves, I guess, kind of like an antique. It's kind of silly. I think it's kind of silly.
Okay, last one. Can we get a mobility cane in the form of a lightsaber and have it make the noise when we extend it to walk? I'd pay some good money for something like that. That was from Frog3136.
Well, Frog, stay tuned.
Uh-oh.
Foreshadowing. Yep. I'm going to have a good video for you coming out very, very soon. We've got good cane videos coming out in the next, probably in August and September. Several cane videos, big cane videos. And one of those is going to be Frog is going to be very interested in.
Okay. I am back at the live stream.
And I'll mention, while you're looking at that, I'll mention my members, the members of my channel already know what I'm talking about when I talk about upcoming stuff. That's one of the benefits of being a member. You get early access to some of the content. So if you want to be a member, check out the video description down below. You can also go to the membership page of my YouTube channel, there's tabs, playlist, video, community, and one of those is membership. And you can go there to learn more about becoming a member and joining our monthly members only calls. And if you are already a member, I encourage you to join the calls. We tend to have the same people joining each month, and they love it. They talk about how helpful. It's kind of like a support group, the Blind Life support group, and I love it. We were on there almost 2 hours yesterday doing a call, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great little community. So if you are a member, you have access. check out the community page on the YouTube channel for information. That's where I post information about the upcoming calls, and it's usually the first Saturday of every month we try to do a call. So we'd love to have you.
And it looks like you maybe just got, I don't know if it's a new supporter or they just logged in, but LBR 5539, it says welcome to supporter. So
Thank you.
Looks like someone else already answered that for her. I love that when someone asks a question and other people in the chat can answer it. That's awesome. I love the community of this. That's my favorite part about the live streams. Okay, someone who I know I'm going to butcher your name, and I apologize to start with. I don't know if it's Matthew Paquette or Matthew Paquette, but
he's
for the
from Humanware.
Huh?
Matt's from Humanware.
Okay, said for the crosswalks, it can detect parallel lines and zebra crossings.
Oh, yes. So it has to have some kind of marking. I know in some of the rural areas of the U.S., they just have, there's nothing on the streets. Unfortunately, it's not really going to help in those situations.
Okay. Eric Hartman said, hey, Sam, the Hover X1 is very cool. Is there a way to get the camera to face outward and rotate while in the bird's eye mode? Or is there some sort of customization necessary to get a rotating view up high? Do you know?
It won't face outward. Well, I should preface by the bird's eye view is only facing down at you. You can set it to rotate, and it'll rotate as it's going up and coming back down, but it's only pointing straight down towards you. I just did a shot in my Stellar Trek video of me walking with a bird's eye view, but you can fly it manually through the app. Now, that's probably not accessible at all. I haven't even attempted to try it yet. But you can fly it manually, and then you could send it up and then just rotate it, through the controls on the app and probably get that shot that you're looking for. But the predetermined flight plans, no, unfortunately not yet. Anyway, they are adding new ones all the time. New flights.
Okay. Stacy V said the member calls are great. I'm glad to have joined and look forward to them.
Yeah.
Paul Kress said, if that was a teaser about a lightsaber that doubles as a retractable cane, then that will be must-see TV.
Stay tuned, Paul. Stay tuned. That's all I can say about it.
And LBR 5539 said, hey there, I just became a new member. I'm glad to join the group and support the channel. Keep up the amazing work, Sam.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And we had a couple super chats, not super chat. I forget what it's called when they just do it in the community. Thanks over some of these last couple of videos. And so if you guys did that, donated through the comments to say thanks, thank you. Appreciate it. It helps out the channel. We appreciate it.
Okay. I believe I have caught up on all of the comments here. We've gone over all of the videos and we are almost at an hour. So did you have anything else you wanted to add, Sam?
Well, we got to do our giveaway.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
I almost forgot about it, too. So today, I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, because it's at my office. But we are going to be giving away the 8-inch video magnifier from eYoYo. I said it wasn't worth the high price tag, but if you get it for free, it's actually it's a pretty good device. So we're going to be giving that away to one lucky winner. So as always, the way it works is you will leave a comment to this video, not on the live stream, the live chat. Once we're done here in a few minutes, you'll have to come back to watch the live stream saved on my YouTube channel and leave a comment with the keyword. I won't have you do eYoYo because no one's going to know how to spell that. Let's do magnifier, okay?
That's long.
Is that even hard?
Maybe.
I struggle with it actually sometimes trying to spell it. What should
I feel like something a little more simple would be better.
Contest?
Sure.
Okay, contest. You want to win the contest, you got to use the keyword contest. So put that in your comment, and then that's how we will pick the winner in a couple of weeks. We're going on a trip this week, and then we'll start looking at picking a winner when we get back. And I will do a follow-up video announcing the winner. Once again, that's the only way I will announce a winner is in a video.
Yes. So if someone tries to reach out to you in the comments and say something about you're a winner, they are trying to scam you, and don't respond.
Yeah, and incidentally, I just learned of a new scam where, thanks to Myrna, from friend of the channel, Myrna sent me a text, and she said that people are sending out gifts, free gifts. So if you receive a box of something in the mail, like some kind of gift, and there's a card and it says, hey, if you're not supposed to be receiving this, scan this barcode or scan this QR code. Don't do it. Don't scan the QR code, because it will grab all the information off your phone when you scan the QR code. So, yeah. So one more thing to be on the lookout for in this wonderful world we live in.
Woohoo.
At least you get a free gift. Just don't scan the QR code. But yes. Okay. So thank you guys so much. Anything else, Rach? Or is that it?
I think that's it.
All right, let me jump back into here, and so I can get ready to end the chat and the live stream. Well, thank you guys. Wonderful time. If you have any questions, obviously leave those in the comments when we're all done here, and I'll do my best. And maybe you'll find it featured in a future talkback. And yeah,
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Remember, contest in the comments of the actual video, not in the live stream chat.
Yes. Yeah. And stay tuned. Lots of cool videos coming out very, very soon. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.